Morning, buenos dias. Today we are going to continue reading our Junie B Jones and the Silly Smelly Bus. And we have been reading about Junie B Jones, and we know that she is going to kindergarten for the first time. She is not happy about riding that bus to school every day. And now that she found out that somebody got chocolate milk dumped on their head on their ride home from school in the bus, she has decided she is not leaving school. She's going to stay at school and not go home on the bus. Okay, so today we're going to take a break from vocabulary and we are going to talk about making predictions. Remember, a prediction is a good guess. It's something that we think in our brain. We use knowledge that we already have to think about what might happen next in the story. So yesterday we're going to go back because when good readers, whenever they're reading, they go back and they reread the end of the story to find out what happened so our brain can remember so that we can make a good guess of what might happen next. So I'm just going to go back to this page right here and I'm going to do some reading. And while I'm reading, I want you to listen and then we're going to talk about what we think might happen next with Junie B Jones. It says, then I heard the noise in the parking lot. It was the screechy brakes. And so I looked out the window and I saw the school bus. It was coming to get me. Oh no, I said kind of loud. Now I'm going to get chocolate milk poured on my head. I chewed my fingernails. Get in line, said Mrs. When we get inside, I want all my bus students to come with me. The rest of you will go with the crossing guard. The crossing guard is the person who helps people cross the street safely. Everyone was lining up. I was the very last one. Just then, the bell rang and Mrs. marched out the door. Then everybody else marched out the door too. Except guess what? I didn't. Okay, so that was the end of the chapter yesterday. Everybody left to go home from school and she decided to stay in the classroom. Okay, so today we have to make a prediction. What do we think is going to happen to Junie B Jones? There's some possibilities, right? I know in my brain, I can envision us in our classroom lining up for the end of the day. And if somebody decided that they would stay in the classroom and not come out with us, first of all, I would be very scared once I realized that they were missing. The kid might be scared. Junie B Jones might be scared because she'll be in the classroom all by herself. And she might miss the bus. So how is she going to get home from school? So we have to start thinking in our head, what do we think will happen to Junie B Jones? And we're going to find out because we're going to read the story. Right now it's called A Good Hider. A Good Hider. When you're the very last one in line, nobody watches you. That's how come no one saw me when I ducked behind the teacher's desk and hid. So instead of going outside with all of her friends, she hid under the desk. One time at Grandma Miller's house, I hid under the kitchen sink, and then I made a growly sound and sprung out at her. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Anyway, I stayed scrunched behind the teacher's desk for a while, and then I saw a better place to hide. It was the big supply closet in the back of the room. And so I ran back there very fast and I squeezed into the bottom shelf and I squeezed right on top of the construction paper. Most of me was comfortable, except for my head was sort of very tight. And my knees were all bended. And then, like when I do a somersault. So there she is again. She's hiding in the supply closet. Remember, we talked about yesterday, the supply closet is where the teacher keeps all of the things, like the papers and the pencils and the glue sticks. So she's hiding in the closet. Do you think anyone's missed her yet? Do you think her teacher knows where she's at? I don't know. Then I pulled the door mostly closed. Shh, don't shut it all the way though. And I mean it, I said out loud. I stayed real quiet for lots of minutes, and then I heard noises in the hall, and some feet came running into the room. Big people feet, I think. What happened? I heard someone ask. One of my little girls is lost, said a voice that sounded like Mrs. Her name is Junie B Jones, and she didn't get on the bus, so now we've got to go looking for her. Then I heard some keys jingle, and the feet went running out again, and then the door shut. So now Mrs., her teacher, knows that she's missing, and she's probably ready to have a heart attack because she can't find her, so she's nervous. I still didn't come out from the closet, though. When you're a good hider, you can't come out for a very, very long time. I just stayed there all bended up and I told myself a story. Not an out loud story. I just told the story inside my head. It's called The Little Hiding Girl. So when she's hiding in the closet inside her brain, she's using her imagination to make up a story. I made it up, and this is how it went. Once upon a time, there was a little hiding girl. She was in a secret spot where nobody could find her, except her head was very tight and her brain was squishing out. But she still couldn't come out of her hiding spot, or a yellow, smelly monster would get her, and also some meanies with chocolate milk. The end. After that, I rested my eyes. Rested your eyes is what Grandpa does when he watches TV after dinner. Then he snores. So if you're resting your eyes, if Grandpa rests his eyes after dinner and he snores, what is he doing? He's sleeping, right? He's sleeping. And Grandma Miller says, "Go to bed, Frank." It's not the same thing as a nap, though, because naps are for babies. That's why. And anyway, I didn't snore. I just did a little drool. So I think what happened is she's trying to tell us that she fell asleep in the supply closet while she was hiding. Then finally, when I opened my eyes and they were done resting, they woke up. And so I came out of the closet and ran right to the window. And guess what? There weren't any cars in the parking lot. And no silly smelly bus either. Whew! That's a relief, I said. A relief is when your stomach doesn't feel squeezy anymore. After that, I went back to the closet because while I was hiding, I sniffed the smell of clay. That's why. And clay is my very favorite thing in the whole world. So clay is kind of like Play-Doh. She saw Play-Doh or clay in the supply closet and she wanted to go back in there and play with it. "Hey, I see it up there," I said. The clay was on the middle shelf. I stood on a chair to get it. Uh-oh. Is it safe to climb up on chairs whenever we're trying to get something down? Nope, probably not so much. It was blue and stiff, and so I had to roll it on the floor to make it soft and warm. Then I rolled it into a blue orange. It was very beautiful, except it had some dirt and hair on it. After I was done, I went to the front of the room and sat down in my teacher's big chair. I like teachers' desks very much. The drawers are so big. I could fit in one, I think. I opened up the top one, and there were happy face stickers and rubber bands and also gold stars, which I love a very lot. I stuck one on my forehead. So she put a sticker right here in her forehead. And then I found some paper clips and red marking pens and new pencils with no points and scissors and travel tissues. And guess what else? Chalk! I said, brand new chalk that's not even out of its little box yet. So she's going through all of the teacher's drawers while she's in the classroom all by herself. Then I stood on my teacher's chair and I clapped my hands together very loud. "I want everyone to find a chair and sit down. Today we are going to learn some alphabet and some reading. And also I will teach you how to make a blue orange. But first, everyone has to watch me draw stuff." So now she's playing teacher in the classroom. Who remembers? Where are all the other kids at? Can you think about that for a second? There you go. All the other kids went home from school, and Junie B is at school all by herself because she didn't want to go home on the bus. And now all of the cars in the parking lot are gone. Let's think about this for a second. How do you think mommy or daddy might feel if you didn't come home from school on the bus like you were supposed to? Do you think they would be feeling happy or scared? Let's find out. Then I went to the board and drew my brand new chalk. I drew a bean and a carrot and some curly hair. Then I wrote some O's. O's are my bestest letter. After that, I bowed. "Thank you very much," I said. "Now you may all go out for recess." I smiled, except for not that Jim. The end of chapter 6. Tomorrow we will read Peeky Holes and Spy. So now we already made a prediction about what we thought was going to happen at the beginning of the chapter. Let's talk about what we think might happen to Junie B Jones. Do you think she's going to be stuck in school forever? Do you think someone's going to come looking for her? Who might come looking for her? I don't know. Whose job is it to keep you safe? These are all questions that we could be answering. You could write about them in a journal too. You could draw a picture of what maybe you would do if you were stuck at school all by yourself. What would you do in our classroom? Would you play at centers? Would you go out to the playground? Would you hide under the table? What would you do at school? Why don't you guys like the link below and comment and tell me, what would you do if you were stuck at school all by yourself? And who do you think is going to come and rescue Junie B Jones from school? We will find out tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great night.